Good morning, students. We are going to continue chapter 8 of NCERT, that is Human Health and Diseases. We are going to focus basically on protozoal as well as fungal diseases. So let's continue. Here we have to study two important protozoal diseases, that is malaria and amoebic dysentery, which is also referred as amoebiasis. Four strains of Plasmodium, that is Vivax malaria falciparum, along with oral, causes malaria. Out of four, only Plasmodium falciparum is very serious and fatal because it is going to cause a malignant malaria, which is also called as brain fever. The vector of Plasmodium is female Anopheles mosquito. Why and female, not male? As you know, female is going to nurse the egg, so it requires blood of the human, and it going to secrete all of these sporozoites being present in the gut of female Anopheles mosquito because, as you know, it is going to secrete some of the saliva which will act as an anti-clotting agent. So through that saliva, actually all of the sporozoites are going to be inserted inside the human body. The treatment till now being available for the malaria, that is quinine and chloroquine. Malaria can be prevented by killing mosquitoes with the help of DDT, BHC, also by that of the mosquito repellent, mosquito nets, etc. Because vector is a mosquito, if we are going to control malaria, first of all we need to control its vector. Now, cycle of plasmodium, it requires two hosts, that is human and mosquito. The infected female Anopheles mosquito transfers all of the infectious form of a plasmodium, that is a sporozoite, reach to the liver. Firstly, liver is going to be infected, where they are going to be multiplied. And these sporozoites reach the liver cells where they multiply. And ultimately, they are going to affect RBC. The rupture of the RBC releases one kind of toxin, that is hemozoin, which is responsible for frequent chills and fevers. Sexual stages, that is gametocytes, develop in red blood cells from where these parasites are going to enter into the female Anopheles mosquito. When they bite the infected person, they will take all of the gametocyte. In the body of mosquito, they are going to fertilize and multiply into the stomach wall. Sporozoites are now stored in the salivary glands of the mosquito because salivary gland is going to release a saliva through which it is going to enter into the human body after mosquito bite. So here is the cycle. You just need to learn that all of the asexual cycle is going to be completed inside that of the female Anopheles mosquito. All of the sporozoites, all of the gametic cycle is going to be completed into the human blood, especially the RBC. RBC is going to produce two types of gametocyte, that is male and female. They are going to fuse together to ultimately going to form the uh, sporozoites. Okay, so that is very very important. Sporozoites are going to be stored into the salivary gland. So it requires two cycle to host to complete its cycle, and here you need to um, mention that hemozoin is going to be released by the rupturing of the RBC, and that is a toxin responsible for the frequent chills and fevers. Now here are the symptoms. Fever will be quite high, frequent chills will be there, sweating is also there. Sometimes shivering and shaking of the body takes place. Now comes to the amoebic dysentery. Amoebic dysentery, also referred as amoebiasis. As the word suggests, the causative organism is Entamoeba histolytica, which is going to infect large intestine of the human. Housefly is the vector for the same, and it carries the Entamoeba histolytica through the fecal matter or any of the dirt or heap of garbage. Symptoms are abdomen pain, constipation, cramps will be there, and sometimes the fecal matter is going to be discharged with blood clots along with the mucus. Fungal disease. First fungal disease we need to study is the ringworm. It is caused by Microsporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton. Human infection occur either through contact with an infected person or from soil. It is also spread going to be through towels, cloths, and corpse. Heat and moisture help to grow this fungus over the skin folds, especially in the groin region and between the toes. You can see dry scaly region over here, and it can develop over the skin, nails, and scalp. Lesions are accompanied by intense itching. Now comes to the helminthic disease. These diseases are also very important. First disease we are going to talk about is Ascaris. It is caused by intestinal endoparasite, that is Ascaris lumbricoides, commonly referred as roundworm, and acts of parasites are excited along with that of the feces of the infected person, which contaminates water along with the soils and the plants or the surrounding areas. Infection takes place through the contaminated vegetable, fruits, and waters. Ascariasis, you can see lots of ascariasis, that is roundworm, are going to be fetched from the intestine. It leads to abdominal pain, indigestion, internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia. Sometimes anemia is also very prevalent in ascariasis because the blood is going to be deficient of the hemoglobin, because all of the food is going to be uh, absorbed by these roundworms. So no iron is there. So how amoeba is going to be so how hemoglobin is going to be formed. That's why amoeba is quite persistent. Now come to the nausea and headache. Blockage of the intestinal passage also going to be occur. Now come to the filariasis, which is also referred as elephantiasis. Filariasis worms, that is Wucheria bronchiopteri and Wucheria malai. Female Culex mosquito is the victim, and symptoms are the inflammation of the organ, blockage of the lymph vessel of lower limbs, resulting in swelling. Lower limbs appear like legs of elephant. Thus, the same genital organs may also be affected, leading to the deformation. You can see lots of deformation actually happens into the genital area along with that of the lower limb section. Prevention and control. First of all, the food we eat needs to be very clean and hygienic. Along with public hygiene is very very important. Disposal of the waste and the garbage should be there at a proper place. Periodic cleaning along with the disinfection of the water reservoir along with the pools, tanks, the standard practice of the hygiene should be maintained by each and every fellow. And now come to the airborne diseases like pneumonia, common cold. Maintain personal hygiene. Public hygiene along with that of the wearing of the mask, which is quite prevalent nowadays. Vector-borne diseases like malaria, filariasis, chikungunya, dengue can be avoided by eradication of the vectors and their breeding places, use of mosquito nets, avoid stagnation of water, introduction of the fishes like ambusia in ponds that feeds on mosquito larvae. Spray insecticides in ditches, drainage areas, swamps, wire mesh at the doors and windows to prevent entry of the mosquito. Vaccination and immunization should be take place at the largest scale. For the polio, diphtheria, and tetanus, use of antibiotics is also very important. That's all for today. Thank you.